in the fourth live streaming session of the UGC National Eligibility Test coaching. Previous three lectures, we had discussions of the very pattern of the UGC National Eligibility Test. We discussed the very syllabus of both papers, paper 1, the general paper, and paper 2, the main papers. We are focusing on paper 2, English language and literature. And in the previous three sessions, we discussed some of the important units from the syllabus of paper 1 as well as paper 2. We also discussed some of the previous questions. Today, we will continue the same pattern. First part of the lecture, we are discussing some very important questions from the previous year's question papers of National Eligibility Test. And the second half of this lecture, we will be discussing some of the possible questions that can come from the literature, the English main subject. Now, let us begin the discussion of the general paper, possible questions from the general paper. So, as you all know, there will be a lot of questions based on the teaching aptitude, research aptitude, then numerical ability, so also the logical reasoning and all. Now, let us look at some of the previous questions. Now, I'll be reading out the probable questions. So, first question, for a teacher teaching class with large strength, which of the following techniques is best? So this is about teaching methodology. And the question is, for a teacher teaching a class with large strength, which of the techniques is best? Option A, debate, discussions, practicals. Option B, group work with lecture. Option C, lecture and class notes. Option D, self-study and asking questions. Now we have to choose the question. For a teacher teaching a class with large strength, which of the techniques is the best? And the answer is option C, lecture and class notes, because the strength is so huge. It could be 150 or 200 or even higher than that. It is difficult to go for a debate, discussion, or other group works. The effective methodology will be lecture and class notes. Now we move on to the next question. Post-positivism is a critique of both option A, ontological and epistemological, option B, ontological and methodology, option C, epistemological and axiology, option D, ontological and axiology. Which is the best option? Post-positivism is a critique of both. Correct option is option D, ontological and axiology. Now, the next question. A research problem is primarily chosen depending upon option A, its relevance, option B, available funds, option C, interest of the researcher, and option D, available of literature. And the correct option is option A, its relevance. A research problem is primarily chosen depending upon its relevance. And now we move on to the next question. The process of establishing a relationship of mutual trust between the researcher and the participant is known as option A, intimacy, option B, informality, option C, rapport, and option D, nexus. The process of establishing a relationship of mutual trust between the researcher and the participant is known as option C, rapport. Next question. The synopsis of research is called option A, blueprint, option B, mapping of problem. Option C, base of a problem. Option D, all of the above. And the answer is option D, all of the above. The synopsis of research is called a blueprint, mapping of problems, and base of a problem. Next question, which is not generally a characteristic of positivist research. Question is, which is not generally a characteristic of positivist research. Option A, control by the researcher. Option B, hypothesis testing. Option C, use of interview data. Option D, replication. And the correct option is option C, use of interview data. Question once more, which is not generally a characteristic of positivist research. Use of interview data is not generally a characteristic of positivist research. Next question, which of the following is true about cross-cultural communication? Which of the following is not, which of the following is true about? Which of the following is true about the cross-cultural communication? Option A, effective cross-cultural communication minimize problems stemming from misinterpretation. Option B, cross-cultural communication should be avoided as it reduces the productivity of a workplace. Option C, being able to communicate cross-culturally requires that favor certain cultures over others. Option D, cross-cultural communication should be avoided as it reduces group cohesiveness. And the right answer is option A, effective cross-cultural communication minimize problems stemming from misinterpretation. Now we move on to the next question. Question is, processes such as knowledge, attention, memory, and working memory, judgment, and evaluation, reasoning, problem solving, and decision making, comprehension, and production of language is also known as option A, internal communication. Option B, external communication. Option C, mass communication. And option D, cognitive communication. The answer is option D, cognitive communication. Next question. Principle of effective communication does not include option A, correctness. Option B, consciousness. Option C, concreteness. And option D, compile. The correct option is option D, compile. Principle of effective communication does not include compile. Next question. The primary reason for large-scale decline in population death rate during 20th century was option A, improved environmental conditions. Option B, improved medical care and control of epidemics. Option C, both A and B. Option D, none of the above. And the correct option is option B, improved medical care and control of epidemics. The primary reason for large-scale decline in population death rate during 20th century was improved medical care and control of epidemics. Now the next question, what was another name of the report McBride Commission? What was another name of the report McBride Commission? The options, option A, International Communication Report. Option B, Many Voice, One Mode. Option C, Many Voice, One World. Option D, the NUICO. And the correct option is option C, Many Voice, One World. What was another name for Name of the report McBride Commission. Many voice, one world. Now, next question. Find odd number pair. Find odd number pair. Option A, 21, 49. Option B, 24, 64. Option C, 25, 54. And option D, 81, 36. The odd number pair is option C, 25, 54. Now the next question, if mobility is coded as 46293927, then examination is coded as option A, 672506230076, option B, 56149512965, option C, 45038401854, option D, 57159413955, and the correct option is option B, 56149512965. Now the next question, A is B's sister, C is B's mother, D is C's father, E is D's mother. Then how is A related to D? Option A, grandmother. Option B, grandfather. Option C, daughter. And option D, granddaughter. Okay, A is B's sister, C is B's mother, D is C's father, E is D's mother. Then how is A related to D? The answer is option D, granddaughter. Next question. Energy is to joule. Energy is to joule. Resistance is to dash. Resistance is to dash. Option A, correct. Current. Option B, ohm. Option C, power. Option D, ampere. And the answer is option B, resistance is equal to ohm. Next question. Look at this series 2, 6, 18 and 54. What number should come next? 2, 6, 18 and 54. Okay, options. Option A, 108. Option B, 148. Option C, 162. Option D, 216. And the correct option is option C, 162. Now we have a statement and conclusions, and we have to choose the best conclusion. And the statement is, all bags are cakes. All lamps are cakes. Conclusion, some lamps are bags. Conclusion number 2, no lamp is bag. Option A, only conclusion 1 follows. Option B, only conclusion 2 follows. Option C, either 1 or 2 follows. Option D, neither 1 nor second conclusion follows. The correct answer is either 1 or 2 conclusions follow the statement. Next question. Uttara Mimamsa is the first school of thought by Shankaracharya. The doctrine is called Vishishta Dvaita, Dvaita, Advaita, none of the above. The answer is Advaita, third option. Option C, Advaita. Uttara Mimamsa is the first school of thought by Shankaracharya. This doctrine is called Advaita. Next question. In Indian logic, a fallacy is called. In Indian logic, a fallacy is called option A, Vyapti. Option B, Anumana. Option C, Hedvadasas. Hedvabasas. Option D, Arthapadi. In Indian logic, a fallacy is called option C, Hedwabasas. Hedwabasas. Next question. It's based on information technology. This question. Email is one of the most popular and important services provided by the internet. What are the main advantages of email? Email is one of the most popular and important services provided by the internet. What are the main advantages of the email? Option A, saves paper and allows users to edit a message easily. Option B, transmits messages faster than other conventional forms of communication, such as postal service. Option C, sends messages according to the sender's convenience. Option D, all of these. And the correct option is option D, all of these. Next question. ISO 27001 is, that is ISO 27001 is dash. Option A, International Cyber Security Standard. Option B, National Cyber Security Standard. Option C, International Software Organization. Option D, none of these. And the answer is option A, ISO 2001 is International Cyber Security Standard. International Cyber Security Standard. Next question. Which of the following statements regarding the features of information and communication technology, ICT, is or are true? Which of the following statements regarding the features of ICT, information and communication technology, is or are true? Statement number 1, information and communication technology, ICT, are the main instruments for the creation of computer networks and applications based on them. Second feature, ICT support the spread of information and knowledge, separating the content from the place where it belongs physically. Third feature, the digital and virtual nature of most of information and computer technology products allow the expenditure for them to be maximized. And the codes, code A, feature 1 and 2 only. Code B, feature 1 and 3 only. Code C, feature 2 and 3 only. Code 3 or code D, 1, 2 and 3. And the correct answer code is code number B, code 2, code B, that is feature 1 and 3 only. And 1 is ICT are the main instruments for the creation of computer networks and applications based on them. And third feature, the digital and virtual nature of most of ICT products allow the expenditure for them to be maximized. Next question, the main difference between a dial-up and a broadband connection is option A, speed. Option B, continuous connectivity. Option B, download rate. Option D, all of the above. And the answer is option D, all of the above. Speed, continuous connectivity, download rate. The next question, which of these should be avoided in an email? Which of this should be avoided in an email? Option A, wrong email address. Option B, subject line. Option C, smileys. Option D, rereading. And the correct option is option A, wrong email address. Which of this should be avoided in an email? Wrong email address must be avoided in an email. Next question, this is Sustainable Development Goals will be adopted by leaders at UN headquarters at Which of the following cities? Where is the UN headquarters? Option A, Rio de Janeiro. Option B, London. Option C, Nairobi. And option D, New York. And the answer is New York. Next question. Infrastructure related to objectives of MDG does not include option A, access to safe drinking water, option B, energy, option C, modern information communication technology, option D, development of road infrastructure. Infrastructure related to objectives of MDG does not include option D, development of road infrastructure. Next question. Sustainable development is dash. Option A, encourages environmentally economic growth. Option B, discourages environmentally economic growth. Option C, encourages environmentally harmful and unsustainable forms of economic growth. Sustainable development encourages environmentally economic growth, discourages environmentally economic growth, encourages environmentally harmful and unsustainable forms of economic growth. Okay, and the answer is option D, all the above. Okay, that is option A, encourages environmentally economic growth, discourages environmentally economic growth, encourages environmentally harmful and unsustainable form of economic growth. Now we come to the next question, and the question is, which ministry has undertaken the national mission for a green India? Which ministry, the cabinet, the central government, right? Which ministry has undertaken the national mission for green India? Option A, Ministry of Rural Development. Option B, Ministry of Environment and Forest. Option C, Ministry of Earth Affairs. Option D, none of this. And the answer is Ministry of Environment and Forest. Which ministry has undertaken the national mission for a green India? Ministry of Environment and Forest. Next question. A man can row downstream at the rate of 24 km per hour and upstream at 7 km per hour. Find the man's rate in still water and rate of current. I repeat the question. A man can row downstream at the rate of 24 km per hour and upstream at 7 km per hour. Find the man's rate in still water and rate of current. Option A, 12.5 km per hour, 11.5 km per hour. Option B, 13.5 km per hour, 10.5 km per hour. Option C, 14.5 km per hour, 9.5 km per hour. Option D, 15.5 km per hour. And option D, 15.5 km per hour, 8.5 km per hour. And the correct answer is option D, 15.5 km per hour, 8.5 km per hour. Now the next question. Campaign and the accelerated growth in the economy has highlighted the demand for skilled manpower in the country. Campaign and accelerated growth in the economy has highlighted the demand for skilled manpower in the country. Option A, made in India. Made in India. Option A, made in India. Option B, the national skill development. Option C, make in India. Option D, technical education in India. Campaign and the accelerated growth in the economy has highlighted the demand for skilled manpower in the country. Option C, make in India. Make in India. Now we have the next question. And the question is, in ancient India, religious and moral aims were dominated by dash. In ancient India, religious and moral aims were dominated by option A, Brahminic system of education, option B, Kshatriya system of education, option C, both A and B, option D, none of the above. And the answer is option C, both A and B. In ancient India, religious and moral aims were dominated by Brahminic system of education and Kshatriya system of education. Next question. Which of these factors is not required for growth of communication? Which of these factors is not required for growth of communication? Option A, globalization. Option B, public relations. Option C, reduce in size of organizations. Option D, technological advancements. And the correct option is reduce in size of organizations. Next question. Which of the following university is situated in Pakistan? Which of the following university is situated in Pakistan? Option A, Takshashila. Option B, Nalanda. Option C, Vikramshila. Option D, Odandapuri. And the answer is Takshashila. Takshashila University is situated in Pakistan. Now the next question. Reservation in professional higher education opportunities is adopted in India because why do we have reservation in professional education? Reservation in professional higher education opportunities is adopted in India because option A, it helps to please political groups of the country. Option B, it enables lower strata of society for a better standard of living. Option C, it compensate for social and economic handicaps of certain sections of the population. And option D, it reflects the commitment of the government to the poor people. And the correct answer is option C, that is, it compensates for social and economic handicaps of certain sections of the population. Okay, so with that, we come to the end of the discussion of the previous questions of paper one, and now we move on to almost. Now we have finished almost half an hour, and with that, we now that we have finished the discussion of the general paper, now we will move on to some of the previous year's questions of the second paper, that is paper on English language and literature. Let us look at some of the possible questions that can come for the national eligibility test for junior research fellowship and lectureship. And now we are looking at, of course, English literature of the 17th century, poetry, drama, and prose of the 17th century. So the first question is, what was Milton's nickname at Cambridge University? What was John Milton's, what was Milton's nickname at Cambridge University? Milton's nickname at Cambridge University is Lady of Christ. Okay, Lady of Christ. So, next question. Because of his lack of proficiency in the Italian tongue, Milton misspelled a title. Which is it? So, which title did Milton misspelled because of his lack of proficiency in Italian language? And the answer is Il penseroso. Il penseroso. Next question. Who said, Cousin Swift, you will never be a poet? Who said, Cousin Swift, you will never be a poet? And answer is Dryden. John Dryden said, Cousin Swift, you will never be a poet. Next question. What is the blood spilt in the Battle of the Books? What is the blood spilt in the Battle of the Books? Important question for the examination. And the answer is ink, I-N-K, ink, pen and ink. The blood spilt in the Battle of Books is ink. Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you for the comments. There are people just commenting. All right. Now we move on to the next question, and that is, whom does the spider in the Battle of the Books represent? Whom does the spider in the Battle of the Books represent? Okay, spider in the Battle of the Books represent the moderns. The moderns is the answer. Next question. Name the abode of the goddess of criticism in the Battle of the Books. The abode of the goddess of criticism in the Battle of the Books is Nova Sembla. Nova Sembla is the abode of the dwelling place of goddess of criticism in the Battle of the Books. Next question. Who kills Descartes in the Battle of the Books? Very important question. Who kills Descartes in the Battle of the Books? It is Aristotle. Aristotle kills Descartes in the Battle of the Books. Now we have another question. Who said that Milton was of the devil's party without knowing it? A very relevant question. Milton was of the devil's party without knowing it. Which critic said? Who said that? Okay, answer is William Blake. William Blake, the Romantic poet, in fact, a transitional poet between the Augustan poetry and the Romantic poetry. He said that Milton was of the devil's party without knowing it. Next question. What is the pulley with which God draws man to him in Herbert's the poem The Pulley? And the answer is peace, P-E-A-C-E. Peace is the pulley with which God draws man to him in Herbert's poem The Pulley. Next question. What is ironic about the title of Herbert's poem Discipline? What is ironic about the title of Herbert's poem Discipline? Okay, the poet speaks of his disciplined life and at the same time tries to discipline God. This is the problem. He speaks about his disciplined life. He also speaks about disciplining God. And now we move on to the next question. Whose death is mourned in Milton's Lycidas? Very relevant question, very important question. And this question can come for the examination. Whose death is mourned in Milton's Lycidas? Edward King's death is mourned in Lycidas of Milton. Next question. Name the capital of hell as represented by Milton. The capital of hell as represented by Milton in Paradise Lost is Pandemonium. Pandemonium is the capital of hell. Now we have the next question. How many books were there in Paradise Lost originally? How many books were there in Paradise Lost originally? There were 10 books in Paradise Lost originally. Next question. In which book do we see the Paradise of Fools? In which book do we see the Paradise of Fools? We see the Paradise of Fools in the book 3 of Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost, book 3, we see the Paradise of Fools. Next question. Next question is, who suggested to Milton the writing of Paradise Regained? Very important question. Under whose suggestion did John Milton write Paradise Regained? The answer is Thomas Elwood. Under the suggestion of Thomas Elwood, Milton wrote Paradise Regained. Next question. Name the English critic who first praised the metaphysical poets to their unified sensibility. Name the English critic who first praised the metaphysical poets for their unified sensibility. And the answer is T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot is Thomas Stearns Eliot. Okay, so Thomas Stearns Eliot first praised metaphysical poets for their unified sensibility. Very important question, and this question is repeatedly asked in many of the national eligibility test question papers. Now we have the next question. In which metaphysical poem do we find the expression phoenix riddle? Which metaphysical poem do we find the expression phoenix riddle? We have that expression in the canonization of John Donne. Canonization. Now we have the next question. In which metaphysical poem do you find the expression the Indian gang-aside? Which metaphysical poem do you have the expression the Indian gang-aside? And the answer is To His Coy Mistress. In the poem To His Coy Mistress, we have the expression the Indian gang-aside. Next question. Which is the masque written by Milton? Which is the masque written by Milton? And the answer is Comus. C-O-M-U-S is the masque written by Milton. Now we have the next question. Donne's biography was written by his friend and admirer Dash, who wrote John Donne's biography. And the answer is Isaac Walton. I-Z-A-A-K Walton, W-A-L-T-O-N. Isaac Walton wrote the biography of Donne. Very important question. Donne's biography was written by his friend and admirer, Isaac Walton. Next question. Name Dryden's allegory adapting characters and story from the Old Testament and satirizing contemporary politics. Name John Dryden's allegory adapting characters and story from the Old Testament and satirizing contemporary politics. The answer is Absalom and Achitophel. Absalom, A-B-S, Absalom and Achitophel, A-B-S-A-L-O-M, Absalom, and Achitophel, A-C-I-T-O-P-H-E-L. Next question. Okay. The question is, name the author of Short View of the Immorality and Profaneness of English Stage. Who wrote Short View of the Immorality and Profaneness of English Stage? It is written by Jeremy Collier. Jeremy Collier wrote Short View of the Immorality and Profaneness of English Stage. Next question. Name the critical symposium that discusses the condition of English drama. Name the critical symposium that discusses the condition of English drama. The answer is Essay of Dramatic Poesy. Essay of Dramatic Poesy. Okay. Once again, the question. Name the critical symposium that discusses the condition of English drama. Essay of Dramatic Poesy. Next question. Milton's Paradise is situated in, which place is Milton's Paradise situated? Milton's Paradise is situated in Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia, all right? Now we have the next question. Which book does Milton refer to when he says, where more is meant than meet the eyes? Which book does John Milton refer to when he says where more is meant than meet the eyes? Fairy Queen. Fairy Queen is the book that is under reference when John Milton refers to where more is meant than meet the eye. Now we have the next question. What is the meaning of the Latin phrase carpe diem? What is the meaning of the Latin phrase carpe diem? The answer is seize the day, seize the day, capture the day, seize the day. Next question. Name Bunyan's autobiography. John Bunyan. Name the autobiography of John Bunyan. Grace abounding to the chief of sinners. Grace abounding to the chief of sinners. Next question. The supporters of the parliament in the time of the English Civil War are known as dash. Okay, the supporters of the parliament in the time of English Civil War are known as dash. And the answer is roundheads. Very important question. Roundhead. The supporters of the parliament in the time of English Civil War are known as roundheads. Next question. Whose poem begins with this line, go and catch a falling star? Okay, the poem of John Donne begins with the line, go and catch a falling star. Next question. Mac in Macflecknoe means. What is the meaning of Mac in Macflecknoe? Mac in Macflecknoe means son, son of Flecknoe. All right, next question. All right, who is known as the immortal dreamer? Who is known as the immortal dreamer? And the answer is John Bunyan. John Bunyan is known as the immortal dreamer. Next question. In which year was the theater closed? Which year was the theater closed in Great Britain? Answer is 1642. In the year 1642, theaters were closed in Great Britain. Next question. Give the name of Dryden's drama based on the story of Antony and Cleopatra. Very important question. Give the name of Dryden's drama based on the story of Antony and Cleopatra. Answer is All for Love. All for Love of Dryden is based on the story of Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra. Next question. Which is the greatest work of Puritanism in English literature? Which is the greatest work of Puritanism in English literature? Answer is The Pilgrim's Progress. The Pilgrim's Progress is the greatest work in English literature about Puritanism, okay, or rather, greatest work of Puritanism is Pilgrim's Progress of John Bunyan. Next question. What is the meaning of Il Pensieroso? What is the meaning of Il Pensieroso? Il Pensieroso means pensive man. Pensive man. Okay. Now we have the next question. That is Milton Sampson Agonistes is written on the model of dash. Milton Sampson Agonistes is written on the model of Greek tragedy. Greek tragedy is the answer. Next question. Okay, the source of the story of the Duchess of Malfi is, the source of the story of the Duchess of Malfi is Painter's Palace of Pleasure. Palace of Pleasure by Painter. Next question. Who is satirized as Achitophel? Who is satirized as Achitophel? Answer is Shaftesbury. Shaftesbury is satirized as Achitophel. Okay. Now we have the next question. And King Charles II is represented in Absalom and Achitophel as David, the biblical hero, biblical character. Now we have the next question. The Duke of Buckingham is satirized as dash in Absalom and Achitophel. Is satirized as Areopagitica. Areopagitica. Okay. Duke of Buckingham is satirized as Areopagitica in the Absalom and Achitophel. All right. Now we move on to the, I'm sorry, that is not the answer. Okay, Duke of Buckingham is satirized as Zimri. Zimri is the answer. Z-I-M-R-I. Zimri. I repeat, the Duke of Buckingham is satirized as Zimri in Absalom and Achitophel. Now we have the next question. Which of Milton's works contains a plea of freedom of the press? Okay, which of Milton's works contains a plea of freedom of the press? Answer is Areopagitica. Areopagitica of Milton is about freedom of the press. Next question. Why is said that Donne killed Petrarch? Why is said that Donne killed Petrarch? The answer is Donne's love poetry worked forcefully and replaced the Petrarchan themes. And because of that reason, it is said that Donne killed Petrarch. Next question. What is the meaning of La Allegro? Very important question. What is the meaning of La Allegro? The meaning of La Allegro is the cheerful, the cheerful. Okay, the cheerful. Next question. Okay, name the author of the heroic tragedy, The Conquest of Granada. Name the author of the heroic tragedy, The Conquest of Granada. And the answer, the author of The Conquest of Granada is, okay, the author of, it is Dryden. Dryden is the author of The Conquest of Granada. Name the author of the heroic tragedy, The Conquest of Granada, Dryden. Next question. Who is the author of essay concerning human understanding? Who is the author of the essay concerning human understanding? Okay, and the answer is John Locke, J-O-H, and John Locke, L-O-C-K. John Locke. John Locke is the author of the essay concerning man. Right? Now we come to the next question. Okay, who is the author of Leviathan? Who is the author of Leviathan? The answer is Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes is the author of Leviathan. Next question. Leviathan means, what is the meaning of Leviathan? Leviathan means a whale. A whale, W-H-A-L, H-A-L-E, Leviathan, Leviathan. Okay, next question. Leviathan stands for, okay, symbolic representation of Leviathan. Leviathan stands for the state of Commonwealth. State of Commonwealth. Next question. Who was the foul friend whom Christian killed? Who was the foul friend whom Christian killed? The foul friend whom Christian killed is Apollyon, A-P-P-O-L-L-Y-O-N, Apollyon. Okay, next question. Job is proverbial for. Job, the character in Bible, is proverbial for. Okay, the answer is a man of patience. Job, the biblical character, is proverbial for man of patience. Next question. Who is a Job's comforter? Who is a Job's comforter? A Job's comforter is a person who aggravates the distress of a man whom he has come to comfort. Somebody who is consoling somebody's difficulty or pain is known as Job's comforter. Next question. On whose blindness is the sonnet on his blindness about? On whose blindness is on his blindness about? On his blindness is about Milton's on, John Milton's on blindness. Next question. Which are the works Milton considered as the works of his left hand? Which are the works of Milton's left hand? Okay, the answer is his controversial pamphlets. Milton has written some pamphlets, and the pamphlets of Milton are considered to be the works of Milton's left hand by Milton. Next question. Dryden's play, The State of Innocence, is based on the poem dash. Dryden's play, The State of Innocence, is based on the poem dash. And the answer is the medal. Okay, the answer is The Paradise Lost. Okay, Dryden's play, The State of Innocence, is based on the poem. Okay, Paradise Lost. Next question. The play of Shadwell ridiculing Dryden is The Medal of John Bayes. The play of Shadwell ridiculing Dryden is, okay, Medal of John Bayes. And now we have the next question. Name two of Dryden's odes celebrating music. Name two of Dryden's odes celebrating music. The answer is Ode for St. Cecilia's Day and Alexander's Feast. Ode for St. Cecilia's Day and Alexander's Feast are odes of Dryden which celebrate music. Next question. Name two of what is the meaning of agonistus? What is the meaning of agonistus? Samson agonistus, right? What is the meaning of agonistus? Agonistus means a fighter, somebody who is a fighter. Samson agonistus. Agonistus means a fighter. Next question. Who was restored to the throne after Cromwell? Okay. Who was restored to the throne after Cromwell? Charles II was restored to the throne after Cromwell. Oliver Cromwell. Now we have the next question. In whose poem do we read the line, the liquefaction of her clothes? Which poem? In whose poem do we read the line, the liquefaction of her clothes? We read it in Robert Herrick, Upon Julia's Clothes. Upon Julia's Clothes. Okay. Next question. Which play of Shakespeare is adapted in Dryden's All for Love? Very important question, repeatedly asked. Dryden's, which play of Shakespeare is adapted in Dryden's All for Love? Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra is adapted in All for Love of Dryden. Next question. Who was referred to as the first poet in the world in Some Things by Ben Jonson? Who was referred to as the first poet in the world in Some Things by Ben Jonson? Okay. John Donne was referred. John Donne was referred to as the first poet in the world in Some Things by Ben Jonson. Next question. In which poem do we read, drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge with mine? Which poem do we read these lines? Drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge with mine. We read it in Ben Jonson's Song to Celia. Song to Celia. Okay, next question. Samuel Butler's Hudibras satirizes dash. Samuel Butler's Hudibras satirizes Puritanism. Okay, next question. Who are satirized as Absalom and Achitophel by Dryden? Monmouth and Shaftesbury are satirized as Absalom and Achitophel by Dryden. Next question. Name the author of the tragedy Aurangzeb. Who wrote Aurangzeb? Aurangzeb, the tragedy, is written by John Dryden. Next question. Under which name is Dryden ridiculed in Buckingham's The Rehearsal? I repeat the question. Under which name is John Dryden ridiculed in Buckingham's The Rehearsals? Okay. Dryden is ridiculed under the name Bayes, B-A-Y-E-S. Next question. Name the author of The Revenge Tragedy. Name the author of The Revenge Tragedy. It is the author of the Revenger's Tragedy. Revenger's Tragedy. The author of Revenger's Tragedy is Cyril Turner. Cyril Turner is the author of the Revenger's Tragedy. Next question. Name the coffee house frequented by Dryden, Pope, Addison, and Steele. Very important question. Name the coffee house frequented by Dryden, Pope, Addison, and Steele. The name of the coffee house is Button's Coffee House. Buttons Coffee House. Next question. Who is the hero of the final edition of Pop's Dunciad? Who is the hero of the final edition of Pop's Dunciad? The hero of the final edition of Alexander Pop's Dunciad is Colley Cibber, Colley, Cibber, Cibber. Colley Cibber is the uh, hero of the final edition of Pop's Dunciad. Next question. Which are the four letters with which Addison signed his papers in The Spectator? Which are the four letters which Addison signed in his papers in The Spectator? The four letters are CLIO. CLIO. Next question. Which book contributed to the prosecution of Congreve? Which book contributed to the prosecution of Congreve? Jeremy Collier's short view of the immorality and profaneness of the English stage led to the prosecution of Congreve. Next question. In which play do we hear cover her face, mine eyes dazzle, she died young? Very important question. In which play do we hear cover her face, mine eyes dazzle, she died young? We hear this in Webster's The Duchess of Malfi. Next question. Under which name Dryden speaks in Essay of Dramatic Poesy? So, under which name Dryden speaks in Essay of Dramatic Poesy? The answer is Neander. 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 Next question. What are allegorized as Hind and Panther in Dryden's poem of that name? Hind and Panther. Repeat. What are allegorized as Hind and Panther in Dryden's poem of that name? Okay, so the Church of Rome and the Church of England are allegorized as Hind and the Panther in Dryden's poem titled Hind and Panther. Next question. Which is Congreve's only tragedy? Which is Congreve's only tragedy? Answer is The Morning Bride. Morning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G, Morning Bride, B-R-I-D-E. The Morning Bride is the only tragedy of Congreve. Next question. Who is represented as Og in Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel? Who is represented as Og, O-G, Og, in Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel? The answer is Thomas Shadwell. Thomas Shadwell is represented as Og in Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel. Next question. Which is the card game figuring prominently in Pope's Rape of the Lock? Which is the card game figuring prominently in Pope's The Rape of the Lock? The answer is Omber, O-M-B-E-R. Which is the card game figuring prominently in Pope's The Rape of the Lock? The answer is Omber, the card game. Question. Next question. In which book do we see a pilgrim visiting Vanity Fair? In which book do we see a pilgrim visiting Vanity Fair? The answer is Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress. In John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, we see pilgrim visiting Vanity Fair. Next question. What is Samuel Pepys chiefly remembered for today? What is Samuel Pepys chiefly remembered for today? And the answer is his diaries. Samuel Pepys is chiefly remembered for his diaries. Next question. What is the subtitle of Philaster? What is the subtitle of Philaster? Okay, the answer, the subtitle of Philaster is Love Lies a Bleeding. Love Lies a Bleeding. Next question. Name a Pindaric ode by Dryden. All right, the Pindaric ode by Dryden is Alexander's Feast. Alexander's Feast. Next question. Whom did Pope describe as the wisest, brightest, and meanest? Very relevant question. Whom did Pope describe as the wisest, brightest, and meanest? The answer is Bacon, Francis Bacon. Okay, we have finished almost 1 hour's lecture, and I am planning to live stream this series of lectures on the National Eligibility Test for Lectureship and Junior Research Fellowship. Every day we'll be discussing certain topics and questions from paper one, general paper, and the main paper, that is English. And today also we discussed half an hour the general paper, and of course half an hour the main paper. So if you find my channel useful, just suggest this channel to your friends, and of course just like this lecture, and you can also comment the lecture. I'm sorry, when I'm giving the lecture, it's not easy for me to reply to your comments. Still, I can see that, and I am, of course, inspired and motivated by your comments. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. We will continue for some more time. I'll be discussing some more questions from paper 2, the main paper. So remember, examination, you will have 2 sessions and 2 papers. Paper 1 is gender paper. Questions coming from, of course, numerical ability, logical reasoning, then research aptitude, teaching aptitude, a lot of questions like that. Then paper 2 is your optional paper. You will be choosing your main paper, the subject of your post-graduation. It could be any of the 81 subjects in the syllabus of University Grants Commission. So I tell you, don't underestimate yourself. Don't think that it is a tough examination. Don't think that you are not capable of passing this examination. Believe in yourself and work hard. With hard work, with reading, writing, planning, and attending lectures of this sort, and going through as many previous question papers as possible. So also, I maybe next class I'll be suggesting some very good book you can depend on. You can, of course, pass this tough examination. Maybe somebody say that it is tough, but it is not that tough. I would say it is not tough. So okay, maybe it is tough, but when we say it is simple, maybe you can be rather negligent, but don't be negligent. Be very serious, and with determination, hard work, and systematic planning and perseverance, you can reach your goal. Okay, so dream big, and you will, of course, accomplish your dream. So have big dreams. Only big dreams can take you to maybe close to the dream. Like you have shoot the stars, then only you will reach the sky. Okay, so if you want to reach the sky, you have to shoot the stars. Similarly, work hard and have big dreams so that you will reach somewhere. And now let's continue. We move on to the next question. The next question is, okay, all right. Give an example of Dunn's use of secular register for religious theme. Very important question. Give an example for Dunn's use of secular register for religious theme. And the answer is better my heart. Okay, the answer is not better, batter my heart, right? Batter, B-A-T-E-R, batter my heart. I repeat the question. Give an example of Dunn's use of secular register for religious theme, that is batter my heart. Next question. Who is ridiculed in Dryden's Macflecknoe? Very important question, comes repeatedly. Who is ridiculed in Dryden's Macflecknoe? The answer is Shardwell. Thomas Shardwell is ridiculed in Dryden's Macflecknoe. Now we have the next question. Give an example of John Donne, Donne's use of religious register for secular theme. Repeat the question. Give an example of Donne's use of religious register for secular theme. The answer is the poem Canonization. Okay, and now we come to the next question. Uh, who is the English son of the goddess of criticism in the Battle of the Books? We have Battle of the Books, the title, and the question is, who is the English son of the goddess of criticism in the Battle of Books? The answer is Wotton, Wotton. Wotton is the English son of the goddess of criticism. Next question. Milton's devil as a moral being is far superior to his God. Who commented? Very important question. Paradise Lost, John Milton, very important titles. A lot of questions come every UGC examination for English language and literature. The question is, Milton's devil as a moral being is far superior to his God. Who commented? The answer is Shelley. Percy Bysshe Shelley commented that Milton's devil as a moral being is far superior to his God. Next question. What is the content of Carlyle's Clothes Philosophy? We have the title Clothes Philosophy by Carlyle, and the question is, what is the content of Carlyle's Clothes Philosophy? The answer is replace the worn out Christian faith with German philosophy. Replace the worn out Christian faith with German philosophy. Now we have the next question. Which of Donne's poems contains the conceit of the arms of a pair of compasses? Very relevant question. This question is repeatedly asked in the English main net examination. Question: which poem of Donne contain the conceit of arms of a pair of compasses? Right. Answer is Valediction Forbidding Morning. Beautiful poem. The poem is titled Valediction Forbidding Morning. All right. Now we come to the next question. What would the future generation? What would the future generation of lovers implead to the poet and his mistress in Donne's canonization? Relevant question again. What would the future generation of lovers implead to the poet and his mistress in Donne's canonization? The future generation of lovers implead to show them a pattern of their love. To show them a pattern of their love. Next question. It's again a very relevant question. The question is, a bracelet of bright hair above the bone. Eliot quotes this line in his essay, The Metaphysical Poets, from Donne's poem, Dash. Okay, from which poem of John Donne does T.S. Eliot quote this line in his essay, The Metaphysical Poets? Very good question, which come repeatedly. I repeat. Okay, a bracelet of bright hair above the bone. Eliot quotes this line in his essay, The Metaphysical Poets, from Donne's poem. Answer, the relic. The answer is the relic, the poem Relic, Relique, Relic. Next question. Next question. The bishop and the king in the relic would make the lover a dash. The bishop and the king in the relic would make the lover a dash. Answer is make the lover something else. Next question. What does the collar in George Herbert's The Collar symbolize? The collar in George Herbert's The Collar symbolize God's control. Very good question. God's control. Next question. Name the metaphysical poet who had been appointed assistant to the blind Latin secretary John Milton. Name the metaphysical poet who had been appointed assistant to the blind Latin secretary John Milton. The answer is Andrew Marvell. Very relevant question. Okay, thank you all. I see even now a lot of students listening to me, and I have some 60 plus likes as well. Thank you so much for your likes. And I'll just read out some more questions, some 10 more questions. Okay. So the next question is, which are the two fair plants the poet sought among men in Marvel's The Garden? Andrew Marvel's The Garden. Which are the two fair plants the poet sought among men in Marvel's The Garden? Answer is quiet and innocence. The plants sought are quiet and innocence. Next question. Name the author of the comedy A Tale of a Tub. Who wrote the comedy A Tale of a Tub? A Tale of a Tub is written by Ben Jonson. Tale of a Tub is written by Ben Jonson. Next question. Who is addressed as busy old fool in Duns The Sun Rising? Who is addressed as the busy old fool in Duns The Sun Rising? Answer, the sun. S-U-N, sun. Sun rises in the east. Next question. Which is Milton's humble ode? Very relevant question. Repeatedly asked question. Which is Milton's humble ode? Okay. Milton's humble ode is on the morning of Christ's nativity. On the morning of Christ's nativity. Now we have the next question. Out of the 24 sonnets of Milton, how many deal with love? Okay. Out of the 24 sonnets of Milton, how many deal with love? The sonnet 1, okay, and only one of the sonnets of Milton deal with love, just passing reference to love. Next question. Who call Miltonic sonnets essays? Very important question. Who call Miltonic sonnets essays? Okay, the answer is J.S. Smart. S-M-A-R-T. J.S. Smart. J.S. Smart called Miltonic sonnets essays. Next question. Which of Milton's sonnets deal with my late espoused saint? Milton's on his deceased wife deals with my espoused saint, my late espoused saint. Next question. What is the theme in Milton's sonnet when the assault was intended to the city? What is the theme of Milton's sonnet when the assault was intended to the city? The dignity of literature. The theme of dignity of literature is the theme of Milton's sonnet when the assault was intended to the city. Next question. Who were or who are referred to as them who kept thy truth so pure of old when all our fathers worshipped stock and stones in his sonnet on the late massacre in Piedmont? The answer is the Vaudios and Waldenses. The Vaudios and Waldenses. Next question. One of Milton's sonnets is titled On His Deceased Wife. Whose wife is referred to in this sonnet? Okay. Milton's, either his first wife, Mary Powell, or his second wife, Catherine Woodcock, is referred to in the title On His Deceased Wife sonnet. Next question. Who spoke of the pastoral mode in Milton's Lycidas as easy, vulgar, and therefore disgusting? Dr. Samuel Johnson said that the pastoral mode in Milton's Lycidas is easy, vulgar, and therefore disguising. Okay, so with this we come to the end of the discussion of the questions of the general paper and the main paper for UGC NET JRF today. Tomorrow also we will be continuing our live streaming coaching session for National Eligibility Test and lectureship and junior research fellowship. Okay, tomorrow again, like today, first part of the lecture, we will be discussing general paper, some of the topics of the general paper. So also we'll be discussing some of the questions from the literature paper, the English language paper as well. So just work hard, each of you. Just read all the very important texts, all the important poems, plays, novels. Besides, please read some critical works. Please continue your reading of the Glossary of Literary Terms by M.H. Abrams. It's very, very useful. So, everybody just remain happy and hopeful. May God bless you all. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye bye. Good night. One